understanding of what is playing out here. Yeah, so the federal government has launched a $1 billion social protection scheme targeting 7.6 million vulnerable households across Nigeria. The initiative, known as the Renewed Hope Protection Program, was unveiled by First Lady Oluremi Tinubu as part of efforts to strengthen government interventions aimed at reducing poverty. On the key components, the Household Prosperity and Empowerment Social Protection Project, Hope SP, is designed to move vulnerable households beyond temporary financial assistance towards sustainable economic empowerment. So how will you be able? Let me read on. Eligible households under the program are expected to receive a one-off digital shock response transfer of 40,000 naira. So how does 40,000 naira improve the life of vulnerable Nigerians? According to the reports, they said that the Hope SP, what is Hope SP? Hope SP is Household Prosperity and Empowerment Social Protection Project. Is designed, hear this, is designed to move vulnerable households beyond temporary financial assistance towards sustainable economic empowerment. So how does that happen? How will that happen? How will 40,000 naira, how will 40,000 naira move vulnerable households beyond from temporary financial assistance towards sustainable economic empowerment? Giving somebody money, you are not empowering that person economically. Giving somebody 40,000 naira, you are not empowering that person economically. Because when you talk about empowerment, empowerment is providing somebody with something that that person will be able to live by, at least to live by, will be able to replicate, will be able to reproduce, empower. Empowerment is not physical, is intangible. So empowerment is putting in place structures that person, when is in that system, that person will not lack. When that person has been introduced into that system, that person, whatever he was going through earlier, when that person gets into that system, that person will not go back or feel what he has been feeling before. Empowerment, giving somebody an ability to become something different. Introducing a system whereby once that person is in that system, his previous experience will no longer affect him because he has now been empowered. And once you are empowered, you are empowered forever. So 40,000 naira, our leaders, 40,000 naira is not an empowerment. What will 40,000 naira do? Is it to buy a machine? Is it to buy a grinding machine? Because that is what most of these people, that is what they do. So instead of using that $1 billion and using that $1 billion and share it among 7.6 million vulnerable households, why not use that $1 billion to set up industries? Why not use that $1 billion to think about how to produce garments? Why not use that $1 billion to produce toothpicks? Set up industries where toothpicks will be produced. set up industries where batteries, production of batteries. We have the raw materials. Set up industries for the production of cotton, cotton wool, cotton buds. Cotton wool are used in the hospitals. Why not set up industries that will last for the next 10, 15, 20, 25 years? Why not use that $1 billion to invest in unemployment in the country, whereby when you invest it, it will create employment? Like I said earlier, we can bring in the Chinese here. Bring in the Chinese here to train young Nigerians on how to produce phone batteries. Bring in the Chinese here and teach Nigerians on how to make club jerseys, even if it is not the authentic one. Because most of these club jerseys that we are wearing, these things are produced in China. They are produced in the Asian countries, in Hong Kong, in Malaysia. So why must we import jerseys? Why can't we have a garment factory in the country? Why can't we have a garment factory in the country? We have clubs in Nigeria. Why can't their jerseys be produced here in the country? I talked earlier about Go TV's, their decoders. I talked about Pay TV, their decoders. Why can't we have our own in Nigeria made DSTV or in Nigeria made Go TV? Why can't we have our own Pay TV here and employ Nigerians to be producing the decoders? Even the prepaid meters that we use in this country, these prepaid meters are imported. Why do we create some economic policies whereby we will not be directly benefiting from those economic policies? It was a good thing that the federal government started this prepaid meter of a thing, but prepaid meter, they are not produced in Nigeria. Prepaid meters are imported, for God's sake. This is about close to 5 years now. How early is that? Even the prepaid meter that we are using in this country, these prepaid meters, they are not produced in the country, and we have engineers every year. Electrical engineers graduate from our universities. So why? What the 4 years that they spent in higher institution, what have they done with it? We keep on churning out graduates, and these graduates, they are not productive, they are not useful to the country. Is it that the electrical engineers, electronic engineers that graduated, is it that they cannot be conditioned into a certain environment for them to produce prepaid meters? An economic policy was initiated, and country that will be benefiting from that economic policy will not be the country where that economic policy was initiated, but another country. Prepaid meters, they are not produced in Nigeria. Prepaid meters are imported. So where is the room for economic growth that the administration has been clamoring on? They are launching $1 billion to share among 7.6 million households, and each of those households will get 40,000 naira. And according to the report, according to the Hope SP, which is Hope is Household Prosperity and Empowerment Social Protection Project, is designed to move vulnerable households beyond temporary financial assistance towards sustainable economic empowerment. How? And the program, under the program, a household under the program are expected to receive a one-off digital shock response transfer of 40,000 naira. So how does 40,000 naira, how does it move somebody beyond financial assistance towards sustainable economic empowerment. Even people in primary school, they will tell you it's not possible. Talk less of you, a minister, a graduate, a minister of the Federal Republic. You are telling us this, that 40,000 naira. How is that possible? How is it possible? So set up industries to empower vulnerable Nigerians. Industries must be set up. There are some skills that that does not require somebody to be a graduate. As if you train them for 3 weeks, if you give them 3 weeks training and technical know-how, you don't have to be a graduate before you become a tailor. You don't have to be a graduate before you start packaging products. You don't have to be a graduate before you start packaging toothpick or packaging cotton buds or cotton wool. You don't have to be a graduate. You don't have to be a graduate to start packaging noodles in cartons. It's training. Training is what you need. Is what Nigeria needs. Skills. Make them to acquire skills that are relevant in today's world. Make them to acquire skills. So 40,000 naira does not improve the life of any Nigerian at all. Because like the analysis I gave earlier, if you buy foodstuff, more than half of that 40,000 naira will be off. And the foodstuff, won't it finish? It will finish. Then we go back to square one. Let us use our heads and think right. Let us begin to think deep. We have the ability to transform this nation, but it's like we don't think outside the box. That thing that they've been doing when Jonathan was in power, he did the same thing. When Buhari was in power, this thing was still the same thing they did. And millions of Nigerians have been thrown below the poverty line every year. Can't these people learn? Can't they learn from previous administration? We must begin to do things differently to get a different result entirely. Let's begin to think outside the box. It is 32 minutes gone past the hour of 9 o'clock. I just have a few things to say. I'm not spending much time here, this particular segment. So let me read up the whole story. Yeah. All right. However, beneficiaries must be registered on the National Social Register and validated with their National Identification Numbers (NIN). The government is also working with the National Identity Management Commission (NIMC) to facilitate NIN registration and improve the verification process. Another thing again is this money, it will not get to the people that needed it the most. That's just the problem. I have my people in the village. None of them has called me to say, we have received alert from federal government. We receive alert from federal government. None of my people in the village has called me to say that, to tell me that. So I don't know how the people that are receiving this money. And when these people, when the government say they've given out this money, they will not account. Okay, make your register, make it public so that we will know. If you say Abubakar AAA receive 40,000 naira, that person should be traceable. It should be traceable. So we need to start doing things differently in this country so that we'll be able to achieve the needed results. All right. Okay, Lagos. I think that is how far I can go this morning. I've exhausted all the things that I wanted to exhaust this morning. All right. So 10 o'clock, Bukola Olowolafe will bring us the news update here on Overt Radio. So Lagos, thank you for listening. Don't go anywhere. Tomorrow, which is the Friday edition of Overt Radio, I will be here same time, same station here on Overt Radio. All right, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.